Greetings students and welcome to this lesson of the physical features of the United States west of the Mississippi River. This video is considered the fourth video in the series or in the section, the United States of America. Earlier we have discussed the modern life, the history and the physical features of the United States east of the Mississippi River, but today we are going to study the physical features west of the Mississippi River as a completion of our section, the United States. In this video, we'll be learning about the physical features of USA west of the Mississippi River, including 1. The Great Plains, 2. The mountains and hills, 3. The basins and plateaus, and we will be introduced to the term plateau, 4. Alaska, 5. Hawaii, 6. The bodies of water in the region, including the oceans, the gulfs, the lakes, and the rivers, 7. The climate of the region, and finally 8. Energy and mineral resources. Now, as we have studied earlier, the United States east of the Mississippi River contains 26 states, while west of the Mississippi River contains 24 states. And we are going to start with their most notable physical features. So, number 1, the Great Plains. There are gently rolling lands that slopes downwards towards the east from 6,000 feet to 1,500 feet. They are covered with farms and ranches. We say that the Great Plains were once covered by wild grasses. Herds of bison grazed there. Today, the Great Plains, the importance of the Great Plains, are covered by farms and ranches. And the Black Hills are in the northern of the Great Plains. What is the Black Hills? They have evergreen trees which darkens the hills and darkens the area and also give them its name or the name because of the features of the evergreen trees. By the way, the evergreen trees are trees that are green all year long, and because of that, somewhat, if we looked from far, we might find them dark. This is why the Great or the Black Hill is named this way, after the evergreen trees that are located in. Number two of the most notable physical features, the Rocky Mountains. They are west of the Great Plains, and the Rocky Mountains are made up of dozens of parallel mountains chains, the Cordillera, extending from the Canadian borders in the north to the Mexican border in the south. So the Rocky Mountains have an extension with or as links as the United States as a whole, as links as the nation. From Canada in the north, as we say, to Mexico in the south, and the United States of America is in between. The Cascade Mountains. They are from north to south through the states of Oregon and Washington. Be careful, the state of Washington is different from Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. There are volcanic mountains, and some of them are still active, which makes the area very fascinating and very interesting for the people who study nature and want to explore a real, not extinct volcano. We say fourth is the Sierra Nevada, the Snowy Mountains. They are from north to south through the borders between California and Nevada states. They contain Mount Whitney. And be careful, MT as an abbreviation in geography terms means mount. And Mount Whitney is the highest mount in the 48 contiguous states of America. But wait a minute, Mr. Muhammad, you have told us earlier in previous videos that the United States contain 50 states. What is that 48 contiguous states of America? Now, that's a question for you to think about. What is the meaning of the word contiguous? I want you to pause this video and try to answer this interesting question. So I'm going to answer you in 3, 2, 1, and the answer is connecting. Contiguous means connecting. So, contiguous means that there are states sharing a common border. There are states sharing a common border. We say that we have only 48 states in the US which are contiguous, while Alaska in the extreme north, and Hawaii Islands in the Pacific Ocean are not or do not have any shared borders with any of the other states. So, moving on to the physical features of the region, we have central and Willamette valleys. Between the Cascade and the Sierra Nevada mountains and the Pacific coast, there are low flat lands called the Central Valley in California and the Willamette Valley in Oregon. Number 6 is going to be as fascinating as the state of Alaska. But as you can see here, Alaska is closer to Canada and Russia more that it's close to US mainland, the contiguous US land. And about that, did you know that Alaska has not always been an American soil? We say that in the year 1867, the United States reached an agreement, specifically on the 30th of March. The United States reached an agreement with Russia for the purchase of the state of Alaska. Now, for some reason, and that reason we are going to be mentioning actually later on, Russia offered the United States the purchase of Alaska for $7.2 million. The treaty was signed by the Russian Federation and the United States of America. Russia at that time had several reasons. Number one, that after Russia was defeated in the Crimean War, it wanted funds and it lost interest in this region. Also wanted to, the Russian people knew that the United States most likely will agree because they want to undermine the British authority in that part of the ocean. Also, the Russian did not see a use of a huge ice land or huge sheets of ice. Later, of course, Alaska was discovered to be sitting on a big and huge reserves of oil, which later was to be discovered that Russia had made a great mistake by selling Alaska to the United States. Now, Alaska, it is the largest US state in the land area, and it's surrounded by mountains from the north, the Brooks Range, and south, the Alaska Range. It has, be careful, Mt. McKinley, the highest mountain in all of the United States. We have mentioned before Mount Whitley. It was the highest mountain in that contiguous of the United States, which is the connection or the 48 states sharing the same border. But Mount McKinley is the highest mountain in all of the United States with a height of 6,194 meters. And Hawaii, where surfing was invented. Actually, this is a true fact. The first surfers, the sport was invented in Hawaii. Hawaii, it's 3,862 kilometers southwest of California, deep in the Pacific Ocean, and includes 8 large islands, over 130 smaller ones. It has 2 active volcanoes, Mauna Loa and Kilauea. Between the Rockies and the Sierra Nevada, the Cascade Range is a mix of landforms. To the south and east is the Colorado Plateau. The Colorado Plateau cuts deep into many canyons, and we're going to study later on one of the most important canyons in the United States. But let's take a pause. What is the meaning of plateau? As I promised you earlier, we will be exposed to this term. I want you, before I answer this question for you, I want you to pause this video and try to figure out the answer. What is the meaning of the word plateau? So I'm going to answer you in 3, 2, 1. And the word plateau means a large flat area of land that is higher than the areas around it, or that is higher than the areas of land surrounding it. Means that this part dwarfs everything around it. And one of the most, if not the most important canyons in the United States is the Grand Canyon. As promised in the introductory video, we are going to discuss what is so famous about the Grand Canyon that it's a landmark of the United States of America. Now, the Grand Canyon offers one of the most visible examples of a worldwide geological phenomenon known as the Great Unconformity, in which 250 million year old rocks lies back to back with only 1.2 billion year old rocks. What happened during the hundreds of millions of years between remained a large mystery. Now, as we have learned much about the physical features of the United States west of the Mississippi River, let's move to the bodies of water. Number one, the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean on Earth, as we were introduced to the Atlantic Ocean east of the Mississippi River, one of the greatest or one of the biggest oceans worldwide. Now we have the Pacific Ocean, the biggest on Earth. The Pacific Ocean borders the US from the west and has Hawaii in its midst. The US western coast has some excellent ports like San Diego, Long Beaches, Los Angeles, of course, California, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle in Washington. Number two, we have the Gulf of Mexico, both Texas and Louisiana. Wait, but Mr. Muhammad, you told us Louisiana and the physical features of east of the Mississippi River. I told you yes, the east of the Mississippi River includes 26 states, and we are going to take parts of Louisiana to explain. We need to differentiate. Louisiana is part of the west of the Mississippi River. Now, both Texas and Louisiana borders the Gulf and has many important ports on it, such as New Orleans in Louisiana and Houston in Texas. Now, try to guess the answer of this question. And I know this might be shocking for some of you. What is the place that it's very hard for you to sweat in within the US borders? To sweat, to breathe a sweat in the US borders. So I'm going to answer you in 3, 2, 1, and if you guessed it right, you are an amazing person. That is the Great Salt Lakes in Utah. The largest salt lake in the US, and it is in Utah. It is salty because it doesn't have an outlet to any oceans, and there are no rivers falling into it, and because it's so dry, this makes it very hard to feel sweaty or stinky in. Moving to the amazing bodies of water in the United States, we have the Lake Mead and the Tahoe. The Lake Tahoe is in the Sierra Nevada mountains, while Lake Mead is an artificial lake formed behind the Hoover Dam on the Colorado River. Of course, it is well known when a man makes a dam on a river, an artificial lake is formed behind the walls of that river as a result of holding back the natural flow of the river. Like, for example, the High Dam, which created Lake Nasser after of the Nile River, as we are going to study in another course, inshallah, that it's going to be about Africa. Now, moving to number 5, maybe the most important body of water in the entire west of the Mississippi River is the Colorado River. The Colorado River begins from the western slopes of the Rocky Mountains and flows south and west to the Gulf of California. It is known for having many dams, as we said earlier. Also, we have the Columbia River, which begins from the Rocky Mountains as well, but flows to the Pacific Ocean. It's known for having many dams as well, and rivers, such as the Snake and Willamette feeds into the river. There are different types of climates in the United States west of the Mississippi River, as we have discussed the physical features of the United States west of the Mississippi River and the bodies of water of the United States west of the Mississippi River, it's time to learn what is the climate in these regions. We say that there are many climates that we are going to discuss. Number one, the marine west coast. The marine west coast is into the extreme west of the United States, and this climate is home to vast forests that lie in the rain shadow. So they are dry. Wait, rain shadow. So they are dry. Okay, we will be moving to this point. Rain water from the mountains is used to water crops, which is a process all of us know, which is irrigation. Now, what is a rain shadow? That we said it rains, but in some parts it's dry. That was mentioned in the previous part. I want you to think, what is a rain shadow? Pause this video and try to figure it out, try to guess it. But if you did not know it, don't worry. I'm answering you in 3, 2, 1, and this needs a lot of attention. Now, rain shadow, this is a phenomenon that happens that one side of the mountain is covered with plants or forests or thick with life, and the other side of the mountain is completely dry. How? So when a cloud is moving, carrying water vapor through a mountain, it does not cross the mountain. It needs to rise above the mountain. And when the cloud rises above the mountain, be careful, the cloud is full of water, the cloud is heavy. It needs to lose some or most of its weight. So it does that by raining. And because every time we move up the surface of water, the climate decreases by 1%. Every certain feet or every certain meters we move up the surface of the earth or the surface of the water, the temperature decreases. So we do not wonder why there is snow on top of some mountains, though these mountains could be in the middle of the desert. Now, again, the cloud needs to lose most of its weight, so it comes as the form of rain, and by the time the cloud has passed this point, the cloud has no rain left in it for it to be rained on the other side. So one of the wonders of nature that we could look at a mountain. Both sides, one is full of life and one is completely dry. Moving to the climate of the United States west of the Mississippi River as well, there is a dry climate which causes so much evaporation from the Great Salt Lake. As we said, it's very hard to sweat in the area or in the part of the Great Salt Lake. And some areas are covered by large desert. But the western Great Plains have a semi-arid climate. What is a semi-arid? A semi-arid climate has more rain than a desert, but it's not enough for forests to grow, which leaves us with wild plants and cactus. A semi-arid climate has a temperature to get hot in the summer, but very cold in the winter. We also have the eastern climates, and these eastern climates or eastern plains, they have two types of climates. The north have a humid continental climate because cold air masses swoop down from the Arctic Ocean or the Arctic Circle. The south has a humid subtropical climate because warm, moist air blows from the Gulf of Mexico. Now, moving to the Alaskan and the Hawaiian climates, the Alaskan climate is cold all year long, and the Hawaiian climate has a tropical climate and tropical rainforest. For you who do not know, tropical climate means that the temperature is fixed all year long, and they only have 2 seasons, not 4, and these 2 seasons are either rainy, there are rain in them, or dry. And the rainforest climate with high temperatures and lot of rainfall is provided and is present in Hawaii. Now, moving to the energy of the United States. The United States west of the Mississippi River has a variety of natural resources. These include petroleum, found in the Gulf of Mexico, southern Great Plains, and California, plus Alaska natural gas and coal, and also the ethanol. This is a fuel made from corn blended with gasoline. If we move to the mineral resources and the clean power of the United States, we can detect that because of the large numbers of dams that the United States have constructed over its rivers, the hydroelectric power is strongly present in the United States energy plan. And the hydroelectric power is produced by dams or large rivers. Wind and solar power also is present. As for the resources, the United States have large quantities of gold, silver, copper, zinc, lead, which is mined in the Rocky Mountains. Also, the US has great natural beauty, which can be enjoyed in the national parks. By that, we have reached the end of our video for today. I hope that you have enjoyed. Please do not forget to answer the quiz below. And if you did not watch the previous videos speaking about east of the Mississippi River, make sure to watch them, because after the last lesson in the section, the people of the United States, or the modern life of the United States west of the Mississippi River, there will be an assessment quiz. I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope that you have learned a lot. Thank you, and see you in the next video, History of the United States west of the Mississippi River. Bye-bye.